Very good afternoon to all the viewers. Welcome back to another episode of BW People HR Voices. Today, we're joined by a very special guest, Ms. Tanvi Rohatgi, the People Director of AB InBev India. She heads the HR function for the company in India and Southeast Asia. She joined as the Associate Director, Global Risk Management in 2019 and went on to work across various verticals, including strategy and marketing within the company. She's an expert in crafting employee experience initiatives, leadership development, and driving culture ambassadors. With a career spanning over a decade, Tanvi has held key leadership positions at Paytm, Bain and Company, Amazon, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Firstly, welcome Tanvi. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Savi.
So, for all the viewers, the topic for discussion today is going to be about the rising green roles in India. So, Tanvi, as we know, amidst the green transition in India and India committing itself to become net zero carbon by 2070, we're seeing a lot of prominence and gain in the rising roles of green and sustainability roles. So, according to you, how do you think the overall job landscape has shifted over the years, and what industries are experiencing the most significant shifts?
Savi, that's very, very pertinent question, and I'm so happy that we are talking about this. AB InBev takes pride in, building for the next 100 plus years, and it's so good to see that all the corporations, all the governments are right now focusing on the same agenda. So I'll start by first saying, Savi, that sustainability is no longer a buzzword. While
Right.
green roles as a concept we are talking about right now, but it's just become so fundamental pillar to every single industry that you see in. And if I were to just quote one of the reports that was published by Satwa Consulting and the Skill Council for Green Jobs, it actually stated that there would be an increase of 223, as in 223% increase in jobs related to ESG. And this is in no way a small number. And if you were to look at the sort of industries that are impacted, of course, renewable energy, waste management, electric vehicles, these are the obvious industries that are going to be impacted a lot. But if you look at even all the other industries, whether it's FMCG or the likes, every single company is now taking an effort and initiative to be part of this. A very recent report said that there will be a 35 million job creation across the existing and emerging sectors. And to take this momentum and ensure that people are able to deliver to this agenda, it's so good to see that the Indian government is also very pumped about this logic. Um, and there is a bold roadmap that they have set up, and there are multiple initiatives. If you look at multiple courses that they are right now bringing, upskilling of the workforce, to ensure that again the government and the corporates are trying to drive this agenda from the front. And if I also reflect internally a little, Savi, at 18 Bev also, we recognize the importance of these sustainable practices. In fact, one of the principles that we have out of the 10, we say that we thrive and grow when our communities thrive and they grow. And we are here for 100 plus years. So while that's the pillar, that's the starting point, it becomes imperative for us to build sustainability in our day-to-day work.
Right.
And we have four pillars on which we focus here at AB InBev on, which is climate change, renewable energy, water recharge, and smart farming. And all of these, while these are the four pillars, but they touch every single aspect in the roles of the company. So just to summarize, uh, it's very good to see the optimism here. 35 million jobs being created, and I'm also very excited to be part of this journey because AB InBev is actually located to address this initiative.
It's great to know what your company is doing in this space. But Tanvi, my next question to you is, the a full-fledged sustainability department at organizations, it's relatively newer, right? So the requirements of an HR, the talent acquisition process has also changed. The job profiles have changed. So what could be some specific skill sets or qualifications that HR leaders are looking for today in terms of hiring for green roles?
Yeah, that's again a wonderful question, Savi. I think I would like to divide it into two parts. Firstly, what are the actual hard skills that the HR industry is trying to look to ensure that people who are taking these green roles are able to deliver? I think the first focus is on the STEM, the science, technology, engineering, mathematics. I mean, that's the basic, but
Right.
that doesn't stop there. That's just a start. Because one also needs the expertise in sustainable practices, the data analytics, and continuously having that continuous learning mindset to evolve with whatever new things are coming up. While that's the hard part, I would in no way discount the second piece, which is the soft skills, because you understand, Savi, some people are passionate about some things. So it comes intuitively to them, the sustainability, the green roles, but it may not be so intuitive to other people. So it's very important that people who are in these roles also have a very strong communication, collaboration mindset and problem solving. And it's just not a theory, but solutions that are being proposed on the table are very practical. And if I again internally look at EB InBev, I think we have reached a significant milestone in our own company with our unique talent initiative, wherein I think we are one of the first few companies who have tried to expand this agenda by bringing a case competition, which we called as EB InBev 100 Plus Challenge, wherein the entire idea was to invite more bright minds to solve this problem. You might be aware, Savi, we have a platform 100 plus, which brings government, NGOs, and MNCs on one platform, but it was missing a very critical element of youth. And so we expanded the scope to them. And we were really amazed to see how every single student was bringing ideas with sustainability being at the core. And the idea here again was to create opportunities to talk about uh, green roles, but again, not just limited to having a specialization, but how do we make it part of day in and day out? So I think for as you asked, like what the HR industry needs to look at, it's not just limited to what a hard skill they are going after, but more importantly, the mindset with which they are working towards in terms of the solutions and creating enough influence and talking about in multiple forums.
Great. So you spoke about collaborations as well. It's very important for organizations to collaborate with educational institutions, be it local NGOs, government. Could you elaborate on that part, that what kind of collaborations can be done? How is it affecting the whole scenario? Please elaborate on that.
Sure, Savi. So I think it's both internal and external. I think your question is more about how do we build the external collaboration. So uh, I think again here, a company in itself will not be able to drive the initiative and the agenda, and that's why bringing all the stakeholders together becomes very important. Uh, for example, if I look at AB InBev's partnerships, it is our partnership with WaterAid, our partnership with ICRISAT in Telangana, our partnership with Savitrabhai Phule in Maharashtra. And the idea here is that how do you bring all the stakeholders on the same platform, try and talk the same language, work towards the initiatives in the same manner so that the impact can be created is not small but multifold and scalable and creating enough inspiration. And I would say that while these are the agencies with which the collaboration are happening, there are also other elements on building and enhancing the environmental education. And not just this, for example, at AB InBev, we also partner with the government. For example, our multiple talent programs, which are on the national apprentice, whether we hire in the commercial team or in the supply chain team, even there, we induct people from different backgrounds and again, develop them not just to become the leaders, but also developing the skill set with a very holistic mindset on how do you build a sustainable company and sustainable career path.
Great to know. We're also seeing that B schools today, they've come up with their own curriculum on sustainability. There are different courses on sustainability, so it's good to know. But Tanvi, my next question is, sustainability, it often intersects with social equity and inclusion also. So how can organizations address the DEI efforts, the diversity and inclusion efforts within the context of green roles?
It's I can't tell you how important this point is, Savi, that you have raised right now. Fostering diversity and inclusion is absolutely mandatory. And if I just talk about a few reports that are doing the rounds right now, there is a direct correlation between the diversity and just not gender, right? It's also thoughts and it's also the backgrounds between the diversity and the performance that are being driven. And what we have often realized while we have always read about it, but I have seen that in practice, not in just in this company, but other companies, that diverse perspectives fuel innovation. And when you have innovation, then the biggest problems can be solved very easily. And the point that we are talking about right now is how do we have sustainable future for our teams and for our people. And I think it's very, very important for the companies to prioritize and have equal opportunities and representation. And while it starts with the recruitment in the world of HR, but it's just the starting point. It is also heavily, heavily focused on developing them, and then most importantly, uh, retaining them to become future leaders.
Mm.
I think another element that we can look at is how do we have mentorship programs and the skill development initiatives to bridge the gaps and
Mm.
empower the underrepresented groups to thrive in the green sectors. If I can just talk about few examples that we have done at ABI and we have seen a lot of success, is while I already alluded to the 100 plus challenge and how were we able to attract the top talent to solve the sustainability problems, uh, we also have this aspect of development, which is leadership programs to
Mm.
specifically help these underrepresented groups to voice and become very confident leaders of the future. In fact, one of the key initiatives that we did 4 years ago, and we are very, very proud and we are trying to replicate in other breweries, is that we had in one of our brewery 50-50 representation. And it was a matter of big moment because we were amazed by doing something that we didn't know we could do. And an important point that I wanted to land here, Savi, is that this inclusion piece that you're talking about, it's just a means to an end goal. Diversity in itself doesn't just start and stop, right? And
Mm.
if I look at our own portfolio, we have seen that a lot of innovations that we have done in the commercial world, in the products, they have primarily been a result of exactly this diversity because people feel very comfortable bringing different views and discussing different ideas. And just to summarize simply, it's important to have diverse perspective because it's the most important thing that fuels the innovation. And we
Right.
have seen this in action at ABI.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Tanvi. Now we'll come to the technology part of the conversation. Technology is rapidly advancing. We're seeing clean technologies coming into the space, right? So how do these technological innovations within these sectors, how are they creating new opportunities? How are they creating new career paths for employees? What are your views on this?
Very interesting, Savi. I think these technologies also help to measure the impact that we are trying to create, right?
Right.
And I fully agree with you. There's just so much happening in the environment right now that it becomes integral for us to also reflect into it. So, for example, if I talk about the FMCG, and I can of course reflect internally for us, but also in the wider FMCG world,
Right.
there are tools that helps us to ensure that we are achieving the zero liquid discharge in our breweries, reducing energy consumption in chillers and coolers, implementing green logistics through electric vehicles. So there are a lot of these clean technologies that are helping us, most importantly, firstly, measuring
Mm.
whether we are delivering our word and able to drive the impact. Uh, and also, because we are not in isolation and we are part of a supply chain, also keeping our stakeholders on track and on account by helping them also measure whether the evolving technologies in these breweries and commercial strategies are helping them drive the clean impact. And I think it's for example, if I talk about our company, we utilize a lot of the clean tech platform. For example, we have global tech platform which helps us monitor the GHG emissions. But overall, what it effectively leads to, Savi, is that because these things are coming up and these are not something that we may have known existed 10 years ago, it becomes very important for not just us but for our teams to evolve, to
Mm.
learn, to be able to bring this mindset and continuously ensure that we are learning, right? And while this is a proactive stance that we are doing in towards the technology to improve our operational efficiency, but it doesn't just stop there, it continues. And embracing these technologies has really helped enhance the efficiency and ensuring, more importantly, that employees are equipped with the skills and the knowledge needed to navigate the evolving job landscape.
Great, great. Now, looking ahead, Tanvi, I want to know that how do you see the future of green roles in India? What could be some opportunities? What could be some challenges? How can the youth be prepared for these roles?
Yeah, Savi. I think we have talked at length about the opportunities that are existing, and I think it's a very optimistic time to pursue a career in green roles. But I think at the same time, there are a lot of unknowns, right? And the biggest challenge that I foresee is while there are forums to have the skill uh, education upskilling, but there will continuously be uh, some sort of a skill gap that we may not be able to bridge. So that's the first thing that I see. I think the second thing that I also foresee could be these regulatory complexities that may emerge, because again, we are all working and identifying and figuring out along the way. But I think these are good challenges to have, and in no way I think they will be hindering the growth, because as we started, it has become so integral that I don't think any company or any government can do without it. And if I think I know for a fact a lot of companies are working towards it. Like at AB InBev again, we have tried to address these challenges and investing in skill development. We also offer our employees that go ahead and do on-demand learning, so you can just choose whatever you want to learn. And I think more and more the forums and these dialogues that are coming will only help curb and address these challenges in a more mature and advanced way. So long story short, I think challenges are there, but they would not be to the extent that they will hinder the great focus that we are seeing right now in sustainability.
Right. Lastly, Tanvi, most of our viewers, they are HR heads, they are HR professionals, employers, employees. What would be your last piece of advice to them?
Oh, it's there's too much to say, Savi, but I think the most important thing is we are here trying to set our businesses for a long-term future. And as a result, every action of ours should be long-term oriented and not short-term oriented. Whether it's building talent, whether it's building businesses, or whether it's creating an inclusive community, which will continue to reap the benefits of the initiatives that we are sowing today, and further driving this in the future.
Well, thank you so much, Tanvi, for joining us today and sharing your valuable insights with us. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Savi. Very nice interacting with you.